It's a strategy, and it is politically protected speech, whether it's done by individuals or organizations. The U.S. Supreme Court has definitively ruled on this, and that's the expert opinion of those groups that have the most focus on what is and isn't protected in our Bill of Rights. So, and they don't even take a position on whether they support this or don't support this. What they support is political speech is protected speech. They don't have a position on whether they agree or disagree with the BDS campaign directed at Israeli economic activities in the West Bank. It's important to keep that in mind, that what they're defending is our First Amendment rights to free speech. And political speech is definitively free speech, as the U.S. Supreme Court back in the 80s, 84 or something, there was a case that made that determination. So again, I don't agree with all the Supreme Court decisions, and you probably don't either, but once they've made their decision, until they revisit an issue, that's the law of the land. And the legislature in Iowa certainly should not be ignoring, especially people on that side. They're always talking about the Constitution they carry around in their pocket. But when it's convenient, they sort of put the Constitution in their back pocket and forget about it. And that's not right.
It's a trade of the place.
It is. Well, I know you do your best to, you're pushing back a tide over there, and I appreciate that you have to pick your battles, and you can't win them all, but I think there's nothing more important than our right to free speech. And
that's happened.
Yeah. So that's.
I just want to.
Thank you.
There's a difference between this boycott divestment coming from the private sector and the state stepping into the issue. That's the problem. I mean, if they want to boycott our boycott, but that's a state taking a position on a private matter. So
business will do its own business.
but to make it illegal. No, corporations are only going to respond to boycott against sanctions because of our efforts. Yeah,
Unless we restrict them otherwise, we've done in the brand.
And if you read the statement from the Bill of Rights Defense Committee, they'll make that distinction about the
Thank you for your time, Tony. As always, I appreciate it. You'll find an email from me, and I took a day off from work that I really needed the income to come down here to meet with you. I sent you my views by email, but it's important to be able to look you in the eye and have these conversations. And I hear you out. I respect your perspectives, but again,
A lot of starting out to do in this yet,
and hopefully you'll be
well, and hopefully you'll reflect, even if they're not necessarily fully your views, I hope you'll reflect our views so that you can represent us, those of us who are your constituents and those who are not technically your constituents. In a sense, every elected representative represents all Iowans, I think.
I feel that way.
Yeah, I don't just, it's great to talk to you because you are my senator, but I would say the same thing to any senator, especially, of course, in your caucus. So.
Thank you.
Okay. So what was the last point you made there about Iran?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
Good.
All right.
Well, that was one more. He did not seem very receptive of our position on. But he listened at least. But whether or not he will present our views to the rest of the Democratic caucus, we don't know. Some of them fully do not understand the gravity of the issue that the Palestinian people face. I heard this guy here in the blue hoodie. He's a Jew. He may not practice fully, but he is not the only Jew who supports the rights of the Palestinian people to a decent life.
Is that what he said?
I don't think you said that, but Joe and staff came tonight, and they're caucusing at 1 o'clock to discuss this issue.
Okay.
So the full session may be delayed.
Yes, the staff member said that
Okay.
I gave him the information,
Yeah.
and he said we would certainly get it to her, and hopefully this gets voted before the caucus. But she's busy all day, she's meeting with me this afternoon. So the best thing I heard him say was he
Now I'm going to go down the steps. Are you going back down the basement? Okay. So I'll walk down the steps and I'll give some more information on what is going on for those that are just joining me. A small group of people, a couple of Quakers and Methodists, and I think 2 Methodists, one a retired minister and one an active minister. They are involved in this effort to stop a bill that has passed the Iowa House of Representatives that would sanction any organization that is actively engaged in the BDS movement, or boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, to try to get the corporations to stop doing business with the Israeli government and the military, which is in a sense one and the same. And the Democrats, you would think, would be for this. You know, they're supposed to be the party of serving the people and promoting their rights of free speech.